Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to look at AssertJ, and it is awesome, spoiler alert, and let us just jump right into it. So first of all, what is AssertJ? AssertJ is something that if you use Spring Boot, then you actually get it per default now. That means that you already have the dependency in your project if you if you use the newest Spring Boot starter template. So first of all, what is it? It is something that has been around forever. So, and when I say forever, then it's like we were talking Java 6 and stuff like that, and that is of course really old. So this is the main page right here. Yeah, this is the URL, and it looks, you can also see from the web page, it actually looks quite weird, old, and you can also see that it mentions Jota time and Neo4j and Guava, so you know that it's a kind of old school library, but it does not make it bad just because it's old school, and it has actually there are a lot of cool versions. They have actually followed up on it, and it's community driven. So what was it that I want to give you the I wanted to give you the overview right here. So here we can see that we have three major versions. So we have after Java 8, then we have to use AssertJ 3 something. And there's something regarding the project for philosophy right here, and we have a getting started guide. And if, as I said, if you're using Spring Boot, then you already have the right dependency. But the cool thing about AssertJ is that it actually has that assert that. So it starts with assert that, and then you can do your assertions on that, whatever you have, and that also counts. That is also lists. It is your objects, etc. I'm going to scroll a bit fast down here. You can read the documentation yourself if you want to. Let us play a bit around with this AssertJ so we can have this alien test. Let us create a new one right here. We will say alien AssertJ test. So this is a new test that we have right here. Here we will say assert. Again, you will annotate your method with the JUnit5. You can see this is JUnit5 because it says Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the sun, so that is why they have named the package like that. So you know, as soon as it says JUnit Jupiter, then you know that is JUnit5. So the engine is JUnit5, but the assertions are AssertJ. So that is a cool part. So we say void try something right here. So to begin with, let us create a list of aliens, and then we will create a new alien right here. Also, can we use the builder? Let me just check alien. Did I add the builder? No, I did not. Okay. New alien. And then we can say long ID, or the ID should be null. The type could be human. Human alien. It's a bit weird, yes. That could be Mike. And weight 1, 2, 3. And with the precise weight, big decimal, just 0, we don't want to use that. So yeah, so that's actually it. So that was one alien, right? Or did we miss some parameters? Weight, height, we also need the height. 1, 2, 2, like this. So now we have one alien. Let us add some more. Control D for duplicate line. So let us take like 5 aliens, and we can also take a Hobbit, and then we can have not Hobbit. Let us take a Wookie, and that could be Chewie like this. Erase a bit more, a bit higher, and then we could have some kind of squid alien that could be Susan, and weighs a bit less maybe, not as high. Again, the alien here that could be, what could this be? This could be like Yoda, but what is the type there? I actually forgot. That's a bit embarrassing. So let us use something else right here. This could be a robot. So this is a robot, and R2D2. And maybe weigh a bit more. It's a bit heavy, the R2D2, and it's not that high, so maybe just 100. And when I say robot, of course I mean droid, right? So and then we have another droid, and that could be the C3PO. and weight could be 90, height could be the same. So now we have some aliens, and some of them are actually droids. That does not matter. We want to test these that we have right here. Of course, I could have fetched them directly from the Spring Boot database. I don't want to do that because it takes a bit longer to run. So now I want to do my assertions, right? If we asserted something with JUnit, and that is totally possible, you know that, of course. Then you would create your assertions from the JUnit package, and you can say that assert equal to something. But what we actually want to do a lot of times, we actually want to say that now we are playing around with the aliens right here. So we want to assert that, and then we give the list right here. So now we have the aliens right here, and then we can assert that, and then we can say contains. Then we can contains only or exactly, and look at all of these cool collection methods or list methods that we have right here. We have a lot of list assert, so we can actually say it does not contain. That's also a possibility. We can say contains null. We don't want that. We can say does not have duplicates. See, look, this is a good one, right? Does not have duplicates. That's one. Okay, cool. And then we can run this test right here. So right now we have actually asserted that something on the list is true, right? Does not have duplicates. And so that means that the language and the syntax it just makes much more sense than it does with the JUnit. It's much more readable. So here we have a green test now. Another thing we could actually do is we could actually, when you have a test, then very often you would actually have a display name, like test if the aliens have duplicates or something like that, or just test on aliens or something like that, right? So here we're testing the aliens, and that means that when we are running the test, now we can see that we have test on aliens because the display name is test on aliens. AssertJ, they have a lower level of naming. That means that we can actually give each assertion we can actually give that a name. We can say as, and then we can give a description right here. That is awesome, right? That is quite awesome. So here we can say as, and then we can say test if aliens have any duplicates. Does not have duplicates. And just for fun, let us just create a duplicate right here. So now we have a duplicate. And look what it says. So first it actually says that, so the display name, of course, sticks. So we have test on aliens right here. And then we actually have this assertion error right here. Test if the aliens have duplicates. This fails right here. And it also says that, that we actually have two droid named R2D2. So this is awesome. Look at the verbosity and the messages. It's much faster to debug these messages than the messages from JUnit. Also because you can actually add error messages also here. So you can also add if something actually goes wrong, then we can actually overwrite the message or have a fail message like with fail message like this. And we can say, hey, don't use duplicates, dummy, or something like that, right? And then we can say, then we can add some more stuff like list count plus, and then we can say aliens dot count or size right here. So of course this message is worse than what we would get before, but let us try to run this now. So that actually means that, hey, don't use, so we actually get both, right? So we get first we get the name in square brackets right here, and then we get the fail message that we have right here. Hey, dummy, don't use duplicates, right? And this count is 6. Now we don't get the other fail message that we got before, where it actually said that it was the droid that was the problem. So of course, in this situation right here, we would not have our own custom message. But you have some situations, if you have some very complex assertions, then you could actually want to have some fail messages like this. Yeah. So this is just one example. Another cool example I actually like is let's say that we take one alien out. So we say that let us remove this one right now. So now we create one alien right here. We can actually also get the first one. So we say aliens that gets the first one. So now we have one alien right here. Actually, because this is a list, then we expect to get Mike out. So that means now again we say assertions, and then we say assert that alien. And again right here, then we can say we can also say an alien dot name, get name. That is also one possibility right here. But we could also say something else. We could also say is in. We assert that this is in the aliens list. So we assert that the first one is in there, and we can also do more assertions, right? So we assert something on the alien, and we don't have to use multiple assertions. We can go through the same assertion, and then we can say, what can we say? Satisfies, and then some condition. So here we have satisfies, and then we can say, and here we have the alien, and then we can use lambda, and we say a.getName equals ignore case Mike, like this. So now we have two assertions. We have two checks. We have two tests in the same assertion right here, right? On the same object. So that means that we do not need to repeat ourselves a lot of times. So but when we're reading stuff, we don't have to read this 10 times, because we know that now we are actually asserting on the alien. Let us just try to run it and see what actually happens. So now we have a green test. Again, we can be quite happy. That's awesome. So this AssertJ, it's just much more. It's just much easier to read, and it's it will also save you a lot of time, because it has a lot of cool assertions. So let us say we can also assert on a field, of course. So that means we can actually say that get type, and then we can say ends with, does not end with, right? We have a lot of look at all of these string. We can also check if it's base 64 encoded or decoded. Is base 64? That's what someone we can ask. We can also ask if it's ASCII encoded. There's also something like that. Is less than, and we can also we can look at the length also. So contains pattern, contains sequence. Does not contain, and then end with does not end. So it's just it just have all of these cool assertions that you would usually have to code yourself. Those are just built into AssertJ. Is blank, is empty, is not blank. So it should not be blank, the type. Blank, that means that it should not be null, and it should also be not without an empty string, for instance. That is the blank. So let us again, we try to run it, this test right here. And of course I could, let us just remove the type just for fun, just to see how it looks again. So now we run a test once again, right here. And here we have it again. So let's see here. So here it says expecting not blank but was. Again, this message is something that we can actually understand, right? So we can actually we know exactly what is actually wrong right here. So that means that if we have multiple checks, then because of this excellent error message right here, then we would actually know what is wrong with this alien right here. Yeah. And we can also say that assert that blah blah. Then we can say dot as a message, fail message with fail message. Or we can also say describe as. Here we have the description. Then we can say test check this alien. And then we can call it a string method on the alien. So that means that now when we run our test now and we get an error, then we can actually see that, check this alien right here, then we can actually see the content. But here now I can actually see that this type is actually blank right here, because we are printing out the alien before we are actually testing it. And of course, to begin with, when you create these AssertJ tests and also the assertions, you'll probably start very simple, and you'll probably start without any descriptions at all, because it's faster for you to write. But when you meet the first error, and when you actually wanted to start your debugger, instead of starting your debugger, then try to use the tools that we have here. Describe as. We also have the as right here. So. As, let us just try to see what happens. Another description. Let us just see what happens if we have both described as, and I think these two are actually the same. The as is just a short described as. So let us see what it says right here. It actually overwrites it. So the second line actually overwrites it. So you can write described as or as. It's totally the same. Control Y to delete one line, so I just did that. What was it else that I wanted to check? This was actually I think these things was actually. I think we've gone through most of it right now. No, yes, we actually. You can also use. There's a cool filter function actually. So let us also use that. So assertions. Assert that, and now we're going to assert on the aliens, the list right now. Here we can actually say filtered on, and then we can actually add a condition. So that means we can actually say type should actually be equal to, or it should be equals, and then we could say droid, for instance, droid. Let's try that. So now we should actually have two, and then we can actually say filtered on. And then we say assert, we say count size, has size, that is, has size 2. So we expect that we have two droids right now, R2D2 and C3PO. So let us try to create this one right here. What does it say right here? Equals between inconvertible. So let us try again. Let us try to run this test just to see what happens. First of all, let us fix so Mike is not blank right here. The type could be human right here, and we run our test again. So, but was 0 there? There's something wrong with this one right here. I think actually we should say in filtered on the type right there, and the second one I do not need to give this. Maybe let's try to run again. So now the type should be droid. Yes. So now it works. So now we actually have so that means we are filtering right here. Of course, you can still with Java after version 8, then you have all of the cool streams. So of course you can also do that filtering right there. But you can also use it in your tests. So you can actually say inside your test, if you filter on the type and you'll only say that you only want the droids, then you expect this. But we can actually also say, we can also use an in. There should be an in to be, we should be able to use in, assertions in. Assertions in, that is assertions in. This was one I was looking for before. So maybe now we say droid and human, and then we can just let it fail, because now we know that the size is not, we know that the size is not 2, it will be 3 now, because now we also have the human. But look at this message right here. It's so awesome. Look, it says here expected size 2, but it was actually 3, and then it comes with these 3 lines right here. look, this is how it should be, right? Now we don't have to start a debug or anything. We can actually see that we have these three, and one of them is the human mic right there. And we say, yes, it was actually three. I forgot to change the test value right here. So now I'm safe to change the test value, right? So because I can see that was actually the situation. So AssertJ, it is awesome. It's cool. Yes, it is something for you. And it's part of Spring Boot, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask any architect to add a new dependency or anything like that. You can just start using it, and you maybe even actually have a short session for your colleagues, and then show them the possibilities, and show them how cool it is. And this actually always applies if you have some new technology, then show it to your colleagues. Most of the times it will actually be accepted, and it will be taken. It will be a good thing, and your colleagues will also start finding cool things that will make you all more efficient, and it will actually make you have a dialogue about the technology, about the code, about the IDE, and about how to work in general. So try to have an open open culture where you can question and you can challenge the existing way of working, and then you will actually see performance improvements in your team over time. That is the Agile way. That is Scrum. That is Kanban. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.